There's no such thing as work-life balance. When I worked for other people, I couldn't wait for the day to end and 5 o'clock to happen so I could go to the bar, go hang out with friends, jump in an online game, or, just screw off. I only worked to have fun. And, I worked to make money. The trick of it all is I took a lot of jobs that were offered to me. I didn't really seek out a life of learning, trying to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. I just continued to take what was ever offered to me. And I was offered some really cool jobs. And I got really good at sales, but I didn't like sales. I didn't like selling. But selling allowed me to have a so-called freedom life to choose when I wanted to work, how I wanted to work, and it gave me that kind of life of, well, if I worked really hard for a few days, I can make a lot of money, and then I could go screw off for a long time and do a lot of silly, crazy things that I thought, were fun. And I had this idea that I needed to have work-life balance, that there needed to be a separation of freaking having to work for people and then making enough money to be able to do the things I want to do in my off time. And the funny thing with it all is I just didn't like what I did. And I didn't like what I did, and to make it worse, I didn't know what the hell I actually wanted to do because I never tried enough things to figure out what I was really into and what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. So I continued for years doing this work hard so I could play harder lifestyle. And what continued to happen is this perpetual wheel of having money, then having no money, having this kind of fake joy or happiness around life, and then going right back to being miserable because I was literally two different people. And what I thought was if, my work life met my personal life, that those two worlds would collide so bad that there would be a catastrophic failure. I was a party man. I loved to go hang out. I loved to drink. I loved to hang out with the friends. I loved to go do all kinds of stuff. But I didn't think that I could find a life where all of that would be, integrated into one thing. So I was literally living two different lives as one person. And truthfully, I was half-assing them both because anytime you find yourself divided, you're not going to be able to give 100% to either one. And that is what perpetuated this life of mediocrity that I lived for so many years because I was literally giving both those lives about 50% of my energy, sometimes a little bit more lopsided, but was trying to fake my way to being somebody. And work really just felt like a disruption to my day. I had a lot of fun partying, hanging out to the wee hours of the morning, and then you had to get up at the butt crack of dawn, and now you go find yourself in a job, and it just wasn't any fun for me. So, interesting happened is when I launched my company, I came into it with that kind of same mindset that I wanted this freedom to make money and do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. And I quickly realized that the building of the business was fun. The creation of all the stuff was a blast. And I was really learning how to do some really fun things that would also make me money. And so this integration started happening, and I found myself doing something that I hadn't done in a long time, which was working some really long hours. And it didn't necessarily feel like work, even though I was working my ass off. And so I was now in this place of, because I really enjoyed what I did and what I do, that I was outworking myself from the past 20, 30 years. And it's a funny thing when you find something that you really enjoy and that joy turns into a revenue producing, thing, then life gets really interesting. You quit trying to separate what your personal life is from your business life, and they become one single thing. And what really makes that fun is when you really enjoy what you do, you'll grow so much faster as a person, as a business, because you want to talk and tell other people about it. You want to share the wins of what's happening in your business, and you want to bring on more clients so you can help them with whatever product or service you do. And so I found myself in a cool place of learning all this technology that I needed to run the business, learning all this graphic and video stuff that I needed to be successful in, running a company. And I really met myself along the way, because for the first time in my life, everything was on me. When I worked for somebody else, there always felt like there was a security blanket of some sort. But when you're out on your own doing your own company, there's no security blanket left. And so I found that I had to figure out a way that I could make this all work, and just fell in love with doing the work. This isn't the idea of the hustle and grind. This is do the work until the work's done. And it's really the idea of, how does work and life become one singular object, and not separate instances. What I found is there's, for me, a couple of tricks that have worked really well, and kept me living a very, very fun life with my wife, and building a business that is just fun as hell to run, all together. I make sure that I go spend time with friends and family, and we talk about business most times. I have a lot of my friends actually come to me for business advice, which is really, really cool place to be. And they ask me about different scenarios and things that they're doing. Like, a friend recently came and she asked me about a conference she was going to, and it was fun to be able to walk her through it, because I've done a lot of conferences and the likes. Every Thursday afternoon, from about noon on, my wife Elizabeth and I, we have what's called a farm day, and we shut down the companies and we go work on our farm. We spend a lot of time fixing things, cleaning up, building things and the likes, and it's just our chance for her and I to work together. Now, doesn't mean I'm not looking at my phone and doing business and the like. And Saturday and Sundays, I work typically till about 9, on the companies, doing different things, and usually a lot of operational stuff, but and then, we go do stuff. We take vacations, and, we definitely have it harder than some trying to take vacations because of the farm and having somebody take care of all the animals and everything. But, Elizabeth is my Jiminy Cricket, man. She's my sounding board for a lot of business things that I do. And because she's got such a great moral compass. And so if I'm ever in a situation to where I, need advice, and I don't want to say she doesn't care about the business. She doesn't always want the details, but she's always there for an ear, when I need advice on things. We talk about business all the time. I mean, she knows a lot of the clients, she knows their names, and she gives advice on different situations. So it's all integrated into one thing. And I think the people that are trying to separate the two out, unfortunately, you just hate what you do. And I get a lot of pushback on the idea that, people who want work-life balance hate what they do. Unfortunately, it's the truth, because if you love what you do, then there's a way to find integration in it and to bring it all together. I mean, I've had buddies growing up that had no clue what their dads really did for work, because they grew up in that generation of everything is separated. But man, look at all the things you're doing with your work life. Figure out, is this something that I really love to do? And I get it. Most people have built a lifestyle that, their lifestyle exceeds their income. So they're trapped in a job because if they got a different job, they wouldn't be able to afford their lifestyle. And that's a surefire way to stay miserable for a really long time. So I suggest that if you really want to have a fun life, make money, and do the things you need to do, then choose the life you want and create it. Live your life and get in the game, because the faster you come to love what you do, the faster you integrate your friends and families into your world, and the faster you see it all as one cool thing, man, the more abundance you're going to find in life, and the more cool things that are actually going to happen. I hope this helps you out, guys. In the comments below, tell me how you're going to put this into play for you. How are you going to create this work-life integration in your life? And if you got any value out of this episode, please do me a favor and subscribe below, ring the bell. If you really liked it, please like the video and share this out with one person who may need to hear this. Otherwise, love you, mean it. See you, bye.